Welcome to the Friendly Skies podcast. This is Matt, a.k.a. Downey Jr., your pilot. With me, my co-hosts, Cullen, a.k.a. Dresden, Mike, a.k.a. Brez Station, and Leah, a.k.a. Leah Sue. I apologize for not saying ladies first, but
it's okay.
Cullen popped up in my mind first. It's weird.
Surprising.
Our topics of today are... I already blanked on that. Mortal Kombat and... Wait, what was our second topic?
King Kong and Godzilla.
I thought you had it written down.
It's I'm sorry, I'm falling apart here. So it's Mortal Kombat.
King Kong vs. Godzilla.
No, that's in the second segment. We're doing two segments here.
Oh.
The hell were we talking about in the next topic?
Jake
Paul. Sorry, Colin's so annoyed.
No wonder we forgot.
That's all right. Yeah, I know. Jake Paul's forgettable. And, well, anyway, this is the first segment. You'll see two episodes back to back. So we're going to get started. I'm just going to take off from Logan Airport here. Game should run a lot smoother. And Mike, if you think about a landing zone in Massachusetts or nearby, I'll let you pick the landing spot. All right?
God.
When you think about, you don't have to think about it now. We'll just.
Is there a map or anything anywhere? Yeah.
There is a map. I'll bring up the map when we get up.
Are
airborne.
you trying to choose a landing spot in the game?
Not yet. We don't have to yet.
I should fly it right into my old apartment complex.
Oh, Colonial Village? Absolutely.
So yeah. I might fly over some spots. So this is now. I'd like to do the official introduction to Mike with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Maybe, Mike, you might recognize some things in Massachusetts here. We'll see.
Yeah, the control tower at Logan's not what it is in this.
It's not that control tower there?
It's not?
No, it's not.
What's different?
Everything.
Okay.
It's two pillars.
You hear that, Matt? I took some liberties with this planet-sized game of yours. You should probably return it, dude.
Dude, it looks terrible, bro.
On account of inaccuracies.
Listen, we're
Also, I saw some octagon-shaped houses.
Yeah.
There's not very many octagon-shaped houses.
So do you recognize the hat shell there, Mike?
Let me see.
The bank,
Oh
bank
yeah.
pavilion.
That's the Blue Hills Pavilion right there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this is the harbor. I mean, this looks really nice actually.
And then Yankee Lobster's right next to it. It's really good.
Yankee Lobster, never been there.
Oh, it's so good.
So, you might want to go a little higher.
A little higher, probably, yeah.
We might have a little situation on our hands.
Yeah.
Can we drive past our apartment? Or fly past?
Yeah, I'm in kind of a faster plane, so we're gonna, here we go.
Wow, yeah.
Look at the fucking shape of the roads in Boston. Jesus Christ, whose fucking idea was that?
It's really chaotic.
They were just like, you know what, New York is everything in a grid, and it's nice and organized, and Boston is just like, fuck you, you know?
Boston's got all the one-way streets and the confusing crap. I remember getting lost in Boston so many times. Oh my god! And you learn a lot actually getting lost.
And so actually, and I know this because I was doing a flight before. Up there, see that big patch of grass up there? Out there is Saugus Ironworks, Salem, or is it Saugus or Salem?
Saugus. It's Saugus.
Saugus.
Yeah, Saugus Ironworks.
We're not in Salem yet. It's too far.
Yeah, I could definitely identify Winthrop, where I used to live.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
You live in Winthrop?
I used to live in Winthrop. Yeah.
He went
Wild
to
stuff, the
he
guy.
went to high school in Lincoln. That's got to be a special experience.
It was, I don't know. It's like
Matt, you were in high school in like what, like the 80s or something?
I definitely feel old officially now.
You're an old man.
Can I say-
Did you have a blue jean jacket?
I used to, yeah.
Matt is turning 40 this year, and it's in June, so soon.
Whoa,
I don't know if
what?
I should have said that, but I said it, so.
Yeah. Anyway, no one cares about
4-0.
no one cares about my age. So let's get to now that we got situated here, Mike. We're just past Saugus Ironworks, so we'll identify where we're at later on in the flight here. But
I love it.
we're gonna talk about Mortal Kombat, the series and the movie.
Yeah, I have not seen the new movie yet.
Okay.
Oh, so we can't do spoilers. We won't give away too
Dude,
much.
I know how Mortal Kombat works.
Yeah, I don't think spoilers in this case will matter too much.
Yeah, what kind of fucking spoilers could you possibly give away in the Mortal
That's
Kombat
really-
movie?
really
Shanti
nothing.
Sung is the
They
boss.
performed a fatality.
Well, Matt told me
Whoa.
something. Matt told me something amazing while we were watching the movie, which was that they're very true to the story. So if someone dies, if a character dies in the movie, then they're gone in the video, which I thought was very it was a huge commitment and very impressive.
If there is literally a single fucking person on this planet that's actually paying attention to Mortal Kombat's story, I will actually be surprised.
If your name's not Ed Boon, of course.
Is there there's a story to that game?
Yeah,
Like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
It's
there's
great.
Dude, there's a whole lore to it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Jesus
Kano was
Christ.
good, and then he turned bad. I mean, there's like a whole thing.
Well, so
Wow.
Mortal Kombat 10 and 11 actually really took that story to like Mortal Kombat 11. Like the whole game is a movie.
Great.
Yeah, the whole game's a movie, and they actually figured out how to bring back old characters. They used time travel,
Pretty much.
and they used also like Liu Kang and Kung Lao is like undead in Mortal Kombat 11. But they brought back the
Dude, that's 10 years old already.
what Mortal Kombat series?
11. Yeah.
Oh, 11?
Wait,
No, 11's not
it
10
is?
years old. No, it just
11 is
Yeah, it
not
came
10
out-
years old.
Yeah, it came out
What?
in 2011. What am I thinking?
what?
It wasn't Mortal
Maybe
Kombat
it's-
11.
Damn, it's probably a different one then. My bad.
Yeah.
You're going by COVID rules, like it's named after the year it came out.
So I mean, I remember Mortal Kombat since I'm so old. I remember when I played the arcades and I played Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1. Then you got 2 and 3.
What was the first
Wow.
game? It was like full motion video or something like that?
Yeah.
Or like stop animation or something?
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2 was my jam on for
Dude,
arcade.
have you ever seen that footage of like the actors like recording like the original Mortal Kombat like in their fucking jumpsuits and shit? And it literally looks like an 80s dance like fucking
No,
video.
that would be crazy.
oh dude, it's just like
I see
I'm
that.
like wow, this is not age well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, remember the game Pit Fighter? You ever hear that game?
No.
Pit Fighter was, I think, came out right beforehand, and it was, yeah, it was recorded actors, and then Mortal Kombat did the same thing. And Prince of Persia kind of, I think, introduced that concept where they would record the movements, and then, you guys should look it up how they made Prince of Persia. It's crazy.
What about
No,
the other fighting game?
You're talking about the original Prince of Persia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
not
think that was
the-
also full motion video or something like that.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Full motion video? Like, what is that?
It's just like actual
They
video.
recorded actual people with like cameras and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
then
Oh,
just
okay.
translated it into the video game. But like technology back in those days, like it wasn't like it was like primitive, So you look at Mortal Kombat and it looks like a fucking slideshow,
Right.
Even though it was actual footage of actual actors and shit like that in like costumes and shit.
Right.
But it's just like the execution of it was it's like archaic if you fucking watch it now. It's really kind of depressing actually.
Yeah.
Caleb, that Worcester
What?
Uh,
oh,
We are.
in the game?
So we are. So this is Beverly. So we're north
Okay.
of Beverly.
Badass.
Yeah. And we're flying towards Lawrence is over here to the left.
Oh, baby.
And let's see what's up here. KPSM. I don't remember what that is.
It's got a different color.
But
Why is it some are blue and some are pink?
Yeah, we're going north. If I'm... Yeah, that's Bedford.
So, are you like a big fighting game fan, Matt?
I am.
Like, do you consider yourself like? I mean, aside from Mortal Kombat, like, what other fights? Do you play like Street Fighter, or do you play Tekken, or any Soul Calibur, or any of that shit?
I have
Soul Calibur.
I have Soul Calibur 6. That's a good one. There's it's just like no players online to play anymore on those games. I played the anime ones like Blaze Blue.
Don't admit that. Don't admit that, dude.
Wait, what game?
Skullgirls.
What game, man?
Blaze Blue.
Oh, Blaze Blue's fun, man.
It was called
I played
no,
that a few
actually,
times.
it was called Turbo Virgins.
Those games are crazy because although for some reason in Soul Calibur when you have a female character, as they start to lose the game, their clothes come off.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was interesting.
So
Matt, do you like it? Ever play Guilty Gear?
I have played Guilty. I have Guilty Gear. Yeah, that's
it's
a good
actually
one.
really fun.
So the crazy thing about those games is that they're actually super in depth. Like you don't realize that you actually have frames of animation, and you can only block certain moves, and there's recovery time for each move. So like depending on which move you use, you can become you have to really think split second on a move versus your opponent, and
to certain moves too.
A lot of strategy involved.
Yeah.
Dude, I've never understood the appeal of fighting games.
There's a high skill cap, which I like.
What's the fighting game? What's the fighting game
What does
that's
that mean?
showdown?
I'm too stupid to play them.
Well, I just like that they're easy to play but hard to master. I love those types of games,
Mortal Kombat's very difficult to master.
I don't know, dude. I watch, like, if you watch any of the tournaments, dude, it feels like it's just like fucking luck most of the time.
It's Tekken I always had a hard time with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I never got Tekken all that well.
Yeah, I haven't played the new one. I was thinking about getting the Marvel vs. Capcom, all those, I heard...
I've only played 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That was good.
Yeah. I mean...
But it's really old now.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it just turns into button mashing, which if you play against someone who knows how to play...
That's a lot of people, unfortunately.
I know. But I had fun playing online. I had fun playing online, playing against people. Like, there is a very competitive aspect to it.
See, that's something that I was always curious about with, like, the upper echelon, like, players of fighting games. Like, is it literally a matter of skill, or is it just a button-mashing luck fest?
There's a lot of skill involved.
There's a lot of skill,
Is there really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There used to be a tournament called EVO every year where, like, the best of the best would get together.
Yeah.
And it would always be, like, the same elite guys almost every year, and, like, the finals and the semifinals.
If you think about it, Cullen, I'll fight like anyone who button mashes. I will just stand there and just watch them as they just try to like do every single random move in the book, and then just calculate long range, short range, block low, block high, like know which move. Well, the problem with button mashes is that it's so random is that you don't know what they're gonna do next. So
he's literally describing playing with me.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, me too. That's literally how I play too. Whenever I pick up a fighting game.
No, but I've learned that, like, with Mortal Kombat, like, the reason why it takes so much skill is because the moves actually take upwards of, like, 3 to 8 or 12 different buttons you have to push in tandem, like...
Yeah, well, you know what?
That's really difficult.
I look like a fucking chimpanzee trying to, like, fly an airplane. It's terrible. I'm literally just hitting everything, and it's like, I literally win out of, like, luck. I'm like, yeah!
Well,
that's sports games for me. Any sports game, I button mash and I always win. Like a basketball game, I just button mash.
Actually, I kind of want to talk a sports game or play sports games, and I know Mike, you play sports games, right? That's a topic for another.
I do.
Yeah, so I definitely want to talk about that because I'm actually interested in getting back into sports games, but it's like you got to find the right people to play with.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I was gonna say I used to play FIFA with Chris Alberto like non-stop back in the day.
FIFA's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to the Mortal Kombat movie. So here's the thing about Mortal Kombat movie. The first Mortal Kombat movie, I think, was actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what, dude? Even I know that one was shit.
So bad it's good.
Annihilation was bad. Annihilation was terrible.
I think
that
this
was
new one,
legit
this
bad.
new one was like Not as good as I think the first one was like the best one, and then so I have no opinion. But this new one was like not as good as the first one, but it was good. It wasn't horrible. It was entertaining.
Right. Well,
I
It was
feel like
easy.
these fucking movies based on games like fucking Mortal Kombat, it's just like
The story is just so fucking stupid
I
that
know.
they all just had to eventually at some point resort to like an origin story.
right.
When in reality, every motherfucker that's watching that movie probably knows everything about all the fucking characters in Mortal Kombat already.
Right.
You know, so it's pointless to make an origin story, but like that's fucking trendy apparently.
So here's the thing about this Mortal Kombat is that in the first one we had Johnny Cage kind of be the narrator and kind of our guide in the movie. In this one we have some random dude who's not a Mortal Kombat character. He's the son of Scorpion.
Don't give away too much for Mike.
Well, Mike already doesn't get. I mean, Mike, do you care?
Not really. I'm just watching it for the entertainment.
Yeah, I'm explaining to you what to expect, so you don't have to watch it. So
Okay.
But still watch it. It's entertaining. The fight scenes were
Oh
great.
yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Again, spoiler alert on everything here because I don't give a shit. Basically, the movie built up to the Mortal Kombat tournament, but it didn't feature any tournament at all, and it just ended abruptly. So it started off strong. The middle was really bad, and then it just ended. Where in the first movie,
It's sequel baiting us then.
yeah, exactly.
You know, the thing I didn't like about it was that it had these like touchstones of Mortal Kombat, which I thought was really creative, where they'd be like, all right, we have Scorpion saying, get over here, which I do like, but it's still kind of like a, you know, a trope, I guess. And like they would have all the certain things where they're like, okay, we did this thing with this character, we showed that thing with Jax, we showed that thing with Jax checkbox, we did that thing. And it just felt kind of like not new or innovative or interesting.
Right.
Which maybe that's asking too much from a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't know much else to say about the Mortal Kombat movie except it was like it was entertaining to a certain part, but it felt
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I feel like your average non-Mortal Kombat fan is only gonna watch this fucking this movie for the over-the-top violence, just like the same fucking reasons that people watch stupid horror movies.
Yes.
Or the
Like,
same reason why people play Mortal Kombat.
I'm not fucking watching stupid horror movies for a good story.
For the story. Right.
I'm watching a stupid horror movie for over the top violence.
Right.
Billy Blood and Guts.
And I feel like there's a large percentage of people
That are watching the Mortal Kombat movie for the exact same reason.
Right.
Oh, you're not wrong.
I definitely think that's true.
So
And
are
also
you
'cause there's
asking?
just not a lot of new stuff out there.
So are you asking if it has fatalities and all the gore you would expect?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it does, dude. Like, it wouldn't be a Mortal Kombat movie if it didn't have that. What do they do? Have tea with each other at the end? Like,
Well,
Actually, wasn't enough of that. I
It-
wanted more.
right. I mean, and let's say this: Mortal Kombat 11 is brutal, and this one took it back to the original game where it just had like it had the original fatalities, like Scorpion burning the guy or Jax
pulling off his mask. And
Yeah.
he has a
Someone's
skull
intestines.
for a face.
Yeah.
I think the intestines falling out was like the most gory, and you see the fatalities in Mortal Kombat, absolutely insane. Like
Yeah.
really creative and ways to kill people.
Yeah, but obviously this is not gonna. You know, honestly, the Mortal Kombat 11 story and Aftermath expansion, that story should be a movie because that story is way more interesting than this reboot. And I agree, Cullen. Basically, they keep rebooting the same shit, and they keep taking out even more story out of it. Like the first one had the Mortal Kombat tournament. This one didn't even get to that. It's like pointless.
So stupid.
Shanta Sung is like, we're just gonna attack you anyway.
And then it was like Sonya. Is that her name? Sonya.
Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade has to prove herself, but it was like kind of like boring. Like a lot of the like plot points were
Oh,
boring.
so
and had
yeah.
already been done.
So one more thing about this.
So, what fighters were in the game? Was it like the usual suspects?
Sonya, Jax. There was one that I could not, for the life of me, identify, but apparently he's a character.
Which
Was it
one?
Kano?
The one with the hammer. The one with the hammer. Kano was in it.
Yeah, Kano was
Love
in.
Kano.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you the name, but
Well, what did it look like?
Was it the guy with the hammer that Jax was fighting?
maybe. I think so. Yeah. But it's funny. The origin story in all these is, you know how they find their powers? They use arcana. So basically, they discover their magic, and they have the magic because they had the tattoo of what?
It's like the Force in Star Wars. They had to find it. It's like use the Force, use the Arcana.
Right. Anyway, so
That sounds awful.
yeah, it's pretty terrible all around. So
It wasn't original. It wasn't creative. It's kind of like, we could make money. This will work. And that seems like most movies, most things. They're just like, we can make money off this. It's not really. I mean, good movies are hard to find these days.
So anyway, so my score is shit out of 10. No, it wasn't that bad. I'd say like 6 out of 10, but no one cares about our review. So anyone else have anything to say about Mortal Kombat before we move on to Jake Paul?
Well, I didn't like the Liu Kang character. He was kind of annoying. He was always kind of my favorite, and in this one, he was so annoying.
Yeah. The Liu Kang in the first Mortal Kombat was actually really good, I have to say.
He was really. Shang Tsung was really good too.
In the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was Johnny Tsunami's grandfather.
Johnny Cage was great in the first one too.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
This is a spoiler.
I'm
sorry,
we're
Mike.
already like
And I
we've
think-
already spoiled the movie, so
You already gave me the whole.
You might have already said this, and I'm sorry for repeating. But I think that was the one thing I didn't like most about the movie was that Johnny Cage wasn't in it.
right. Well, spoiler alert, he's supposed to be in the second movie. But, you know, at this point, I don't have any...
Do like a fucking trilogy out of this
Yeah.
nonsense now.
But then they also won't because it won't be successful or whatever. Like the odds of getting a
Yeah,
sequel.
like what happened? Do you guys remember the whole Dark Universe the Universal was trying to do?
Yep, that all fell apart.
Yeah, that fell apart because the Mummy bombed hardcore in the theater.
Yeah, he was supposed to be part of the Dark Universe.
Yeah, that was supposed to start it.
I liked that movie though. I am so embarrassed to admit.
You know, I would be embarrassed too, Leah.
Any like, I know Tom Cruise is crazy, but like his movies are good, and it's an action like sci-fi thriller.
Mission Impossible, you got me on that.
The Mummy was so bad, and I really
I love
did
Mission
like it.
Impossible.
Oh, reminds me, another future topic, Church of Scientology.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so Jake Paul, we now talked a good 20 minutes about Mortal Kombat. I don't know how we did that, but Jake Paul, I used to, you know, just watch his videos just to hate him and cringe.
Did you really, dude? You
Oh.
actually contributed to that horse shit.
Well, I watch it for the same reasons you watched him too, unless you hate him and without having watched him. But what?
I hate him without having watched him.
How did you start hating him, and what was your exposure? Just the boxing?
The boxing. Well, I mean, I think my
Let's see where we are.
original introduction to him was through his stupid fucking brother, because his brother was always making the news with all the dumb shit he was doing.
Right.
What
It was like
what
a
opened my
fucking apology tour for everything he did.
But you know why?
what opened
Right.
my eyes to the Paul family was when Logan went to Japan and was like laughing
Yeah.
at the dead bodies in it.
Yeah, in that forest in Japan
Yeah.
where people commit suicide. That's that's pretty fucked up, dude.
It's
Like,
very, very messed up.
yeah. I mean, it's also disrespectful because I think that place is considered sacred too. It's just
It
like,
is.
fuck these kids, dude. Like, fuck them. Why do they have millions of dollars?
Well, that's the thing. It's like
Who is fucking paying these people?
That's the thing. It's if you watched like there's a lot of instances of rich kids doing really bratty, spoiled rich kids things like going into sacred temples and all that stuff. Jake Paul's and Logan Paul's just one of them. You know?
So
It's a career choice now to be a fucking influencer.
So I
know,
just typed
right.
in Japan suicide forest on Google, and guess who was the fourth picture that came up?
Logan.
Logan
Really?
effing Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Awful.
sucks.
I
I
know.
don't know.
That's what our
I mean, I feel
society
like
yeah.
both of them are just trying to make
They're trash, dude.
they're trying they want to make their name in fucking fighting sports, and it's like, you know, Jake Paul is just such a dildo, and he's challenging just the
Putting it
fucking
politely.
the most non-boxer people in the fuck. It's like, dude, stop it. Like, you know, he's like calling out like actual fucking UFC fighters too, like
I love his
Conor
image.
McGregor and like Nate Diaz. It's like, first of all, both of those people will destroy you.
I love
You
to see
know?
someone end his shit, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's eventually gonna happen, but you know, it's like for the time being, it's like they're pitting him against these non-boxers, and he's acting like he's accomplishing something, and it's fucking annoying. Like, I hate this kid. Like, get the fuck out of the public eye.
Right.
Like, I don't know why anybody is spending, like, him versus Askren a couple of weeks ago. Dude, I couldn't even fucking believe how much money that grossed. Like, people were actually paying, like, pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well,
millions, dude. Fucking millions.
That's the thing.
Like,
It's like with the Kardashians and all these social media influencers.
Dude, no, here's the thing, dude. I think there was,
you know, a lot of people that watched the Kardashians in its infancy because it was a train wreck, and they just wanted to watch a train wreck, you know. And like on some fucked up level, like, I get that, you know, I get people wanting to. It's entertaining.
Well, I think it all started when
Jake Paul's not a train wreck.
Sex video came out.
I'm saying, but like, I think to some degree, like, the Kardashians at this point have actually, like, as much as it pains me to say it, like, they've accomplished shit. You know, they have beauty products, and they have
lines.
Well, Logan Paul has a T-shirt line.
What the fuck are the Pauls doing?
Well,
what are they doing?
Listen, I agree that you've said two different points. Is that we watch reality TV to make ourselves feel better about ourselves, and Jake Paul literally has admirers thinking that what he does is actually entertaining. So I agree with that. That's insane.
It's horrifying.
That's horrifying.
That's the scariest part, man. That's the scariest part about him is that he has like legit following of people that will follow him and defend him and pay money to watch his fucking brother fight some other YouTuber. And then act like he's fucking Muhammad Ali afterwards. Like, it's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. Hold on. Let me just pause here for a second. Leah, we're actually flying over Portland, Maine soon. So we're going to go over Maine.
Cool. You know, I love Maine. My parents have a house there.
You know, Snoop Dogg's got this, like, boxing, like, company now where it's just, like, it's meant for people like fucking Jake Paul. Right. You know, it's people that are non-professionals or semi-professionals that want to get into, you know, combat sports. But dude, like Dana White himself has been like, Jake Paul's a fucking idiot. Like, we're not gonna let you fight any of our dudes. Like, what fucking qualifications does this kid have? You're literally you're talking about people that have been fighting their entire lives.
Wait, but did he beat Ben Askren?
He did.
How did he do that?
Because Ben Askren's a wrestler, dude.
I think that was rigged, dude.
I think it was rigged too, but like at the end of the day, Ben Askren is a fucking wrestler, and he's probably, arguably,
one of the worst strikers in the fucking league.
Yeah.
Okay, like he's not gonna fucking knock people. Like, look at how many knockouts Askren's had. It's like you could probably count it on one hand.
Right.
You know.
I think what's actually happening is these, you know, combat, whatever you called it, combat things. They're losing their reputations.
They're not. They're not.
But they're like diminishing.
No, they're not, dude.
What the thing actually is, because they're allowing people.
Every single. It feels like every event that the UFC puts on makes more money than the one before it, dude. They're just increasing in popularity, dude. Like, that industry is worth billions.
I'm sure they're popular, but they're playing to like the least common denominator. They're playing just for entertainment. They're actually not about like martial arts and fighting as much. And, by the way, I know nothing about this.
UFC. The Pauls are not, absolutely not. But you have actually UFC fighters, like, yeah, those are people that have spent their entire lives fighting.
It's like they're working on their craft, is what they're doing.
But if the UFC
those are actual fighters. You know?
If the UFC opens it up to like the Paul brothers for entertainment value, doesn't that like
they're not going to? They're not going to.
This was a celebrity match outside of the UFC, or was it sponsored by the UFC?
So I don't understand. It wasn't sponsored by the UFC. It was sponsored by Triller.
Okay.
And it's pointless. It's meaningless. Like, Dana White, he like literally every known fighter that this idiot has called out has basically been like, look, you're a fucking moron. Like, what are you doing? Like, no one takes him seriously.
Right.
You know, he wants to be taken seriously, but it's just like, tough shit, dude. Like, you're a Paul. I'm sorry. Like, no one gives a fuck about you except idiots.
Right.
Much agreed.
Yeah.
Well, it's
All right.
making money though. Like it feels like it's making a joke out of like these serious like sports kind of. That's what it feels like to me.
They just want hits on their friggin' YouTube page. Is really all this is.
It's like we're gonna have Janice Dickinson playing.
But at the expense of like, I don't give a shit about sports in general. For the most part, I don't fucking care about sports. The only sport I follow with any fucking regularity is UFC. And it's just upsetting to see like these fucking idiots like infiltrating like a legit sport.
Yeah,
it's insulting to your intelligence, is what it is.
It's like it's insulting to see these fucking stupid kids trying to get fame. You know.
Nothing.
But
this
what
whole
if
influencer culture? It's so weird.
It's I mean that's happening everywhere. And listen, not to invalidate your point, you're completely right. But I mean this is what we have to expect of these influencers and these people that are getting fed by them. I don't even know how they make money. They make money because people follow them, and that's the reason. Like with
I'll tell you what I think is at the core of it. I think YouTube should stop paying these fucking dumb kids for views.
Yeah.
Because you're literally making idiots like the Pauls millionaires and then boosting their fucking egos, thinking they can take on the entire fucking world.
Right.
And it's like they can do anything now. And they're just going to infiltrate every fucking aspect of society because they've been handed all this money at such a young age that they're just like, you know what? I'm God. I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's like
we're turning
reality
into
is like you
idiocracy.
I just had an epiphany. I think this is a good thing. Now, outside of the money, they don't deserve the outside of the money. But I think this is a good thing because being famous isn't as amazing anymore.
Cracked up
because
to me.
so many people can be famous now. It's like easier to be famous. Like being famous before was like
It doesn't take anything
pie
to
in
be.
the sky. No, but
like-
listen, it was like pie in the sky. Dream big dreams. You're famous. That's crazy. Whatever. Now it's like all these like kids, people, regular people are getting famous based on nothing. So I actually think it's good because it's going to make it's actually going to diminish the value of being quote unquote famous, and other people are going to actually benefit because they're going to be able to like speak up, and like being famous isn't going to be like, oh well, we're just going to listen to whatever you say. It's
Well, the question is then
Because you're
how do the rest of us benefit from it when
Like your average idiot down the street, some 14-year-old kid that makes
We get
stupid
nothing out of
fucking
it.
TikTok videos is making millions of dollars off of it.
I think
How do we benefit from that? We don't.
I think it's going to be a bubble.
Being famous is less valuable now. I think that benefits everybody because fame was already kind of like a gross thing.
Right, it's saturated. Well, I think it's a bubble. I think it's going to pop because they bring no value. So this monetary bubble, something's got to give. I just can't see this keep going, like just money coming out of nowhere for these influencers.
Exactly. They bring no money. Like they're really not doing anything. It's a short-term like money grab. What are they going to do in the long term? Like Logan Paul, long term, I'd love to see where he's at.
He's set for life. He's set for life.
Yeah, he is set
Maybe,
for life.
maybe
He's
not.
He's a
Maybe not.
millionaire.
He doesn't
He's
need to make another
millionaire. He's a millionaire. So is his stupid brother. But for
The
what? For doing what? And it used to be people like the Kardashians who take a look at them and be like, "Oh, what have they done?" But it's just like I said, it pains me to say, but like the Kardashians and the Jenners and those fucking people like have actual jobs outside of being idiots on YouTube. You know, like the Jenners are fucking models and shit like that, and the Kardashians have like fragrance lines and stuff like that, and like fashion lines. What the fuck are any of these stupid kids doing besides
Cullen.
making money
Wait.
for making dumb fucking like YouTube? Cut these fucking people off. Cut them the fuck off. Why are you paying these people?
I agree.
Cullen, you actually think that the Kardashians, I mean, okay, maybe they had some entrepreneur skills, obviously, but they didn't like pull themselves up from their bootstraps. They were already at a level even not
They already have the money.
Right.
Thanks to their father.
They have a clothing line. Yeah, because they were rich and famous, so they gave them a clothing
Yeah,
line.
but
It's
I
not
mean,
like they worked hard
I
for that.
guarantee, you know, the money that they've taken in by creating their personas is exponentially more than their parents made. So, What does that have
I
to do
don't
with
know if-
anything?
I don't know if that's because they're
Like, they were
really-
born with a silver spoon in their mouth, sure, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna be something. There's plenty of fucking rich relatives of famous people out there that don't amount to fucking anything.
I give them credit for taking the opportunities that they had in front of them. They took it by the balls and they fucking went for it. And that, yes, not everyone does that. Some people just
Well,
are like,
they had the world's softest landing spot, though.
yeah. They were
the
like,
same
oh,
time.
I'm
So
already
it's really
in a
not
good
much of a risk.
Right, I'm in a good position, so now I'm gonna go make a company. I feel like a lot of people could do that. That's not really that
I don't know,
great.
dude. It's just like you're creating a generation of people that, like, this is what they aspire to do now. Like, you're gonna create a fucking generation of stupid, mindless fucking kids that are like, I want to be the next Paul. Like, that's their aspirations now because there's lots of money in it. Cut the fucking money off. Cut the money off. Why are you paying these people for this shit?
Unfortunately, that is a question that we'd like to ask the audience. Post in your comments, and we'll see you at the next episode. This was a Friendly Skies podcast. I'm your friendly host with
I felt like I didn't get to get angry enough on this one.
I mean,
I was just warming up, dude. I was like, fucking Jake Paul, dude, I hate him.
Listen, but Cullen, we can be as angry as we want at this, but I feel like we're just wasting. We gotta solve how are we gonna solve this issue, dude?
I know. How are we gonna fix